Queen.
I can see
But he always said that we were the two ugly sisters, but we weren't actually.
So tell us about what the theatre was like, Alfie.
The theatre was quite nice. We had one stage right up here, and all down below were seats made from the Canadian parcels, which were packed in tea chests. And the tea chests were converted into seats, and they were all lined up right along.
So is this the first time you've been back to the theatre since the war?
This is absolutely the first time, yes.
And what's it like seeing it like this?
Oh, not too bad. We had some very happy times here, especially when the ladies and the men went to the same latrine and did their business. The rustle of skirts put tears in the men's eyes.
So what plays were you in, Alfie, when you were here?
I was in The Merchant of Venice as Lancelot Gobbo. I was in the first pantomime that they put on, and then a Wild West show, and then Journey's End. I was Captain Hardy in the opening scene, where I had a sock in front of a candle, and I always remember, tick-tock, wind up the clock, and we'd start the war all over again. And then when we went to Heidekrug, we had another theatre there, and I played in several plays up there.
So you had all the costumes here and all the materials for the plays?
Yes, we made them ourselves, but for The Merchant of Venice, the Commandant was very generous and allowed one of the goons to go up to Berlin and get the costumes. The Germans were very much in favour of this, because the Jew was portrayed as the villain of the piece, and everybody was against the Jew in the play, and they liked that.
So describe to me, if you would, what the stage looked like, because there's an orchestra pit, is that right? Could you just point out to me what it looked like and what was there?
Yes, there was a stage and two entrances, and there was a proscenium curtain in the front, and underneath was the dressing room. And we used to make up there. We got makeup sent from home, and we'll always remember that the men always used 2.5, number 2.5 for the juvenile leads, and 3.5 for the men.
And didn't it also double up as a church as well?
No, we had a church, a separate hut for the church, and we made the altar for that out of the cardboard boxes and things.
I think we should get you on the stage, don't you?
Why not?
So when was the last time you were actually on the stage in here then, Alfie? Do you remember?
Yes, it was a review which was put on by Bill Thewell, who was a bank manager in civilian life, and myself, and we got a lot of plays sent to us by my English benefactor, which was the Countess of Shaftesbury. She knew my father, who was a postman at one stage there in Critchell, and she got to hear that I was a prisoner of war, so she decided to take me under her wing. And the first thing she said, well, what would he like out there? So I sent back and said, we would rather like some gramophones and records, because we have nothing at the moment. So she sent out 3 gramophones and the Nutcracker Suite and a few other records. And we had 3 huts, and we distributed the gramophones, one in each hut. But in the end, one of the gramophones was used as a radio set. We took the turntable up and put the radio in where the works were, and in the inscription we got a Telefunken label and stuck it in the back of the radio. We altered one letter in it and stuck it back in case the Germans found it. It would turn up and say Telefunken, but that's not what was put in there initially.
So can you describe to me what this area is here we're looking at, just This sunken area.
This sunken area is the orchestra pit, where Johnny Fender and his men used to play, and the makeup rooms were down below.
So where were the makeup rooms?
They were just at the end there, and they used to have some steps up, wooden steps up to the stage.
So let's get you on the stage then. Let's wander over, shall we?
I think we're going to have to go down the steps down here, Pop.
We just jumped down, Alfie, you know.
Yes,
It's not very
here
far.
we are.
So there you are, Alfie.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't bring his chute.
Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. Oh, close them all up with our English dead. In peace nothing so becomes a man as modest sternness and humility. So on with the war.
Well, it's taken you 65 years, Alfie, but you made it.
Well, I made it in the end. I also do my Charlie Chaplin impression. That's me.
Fantastic.
It's a long time to wait for an encore, Alfie.
Well, yes, it is, yes. Well, you must remember that Peter Butterworth, Rupert Davis, Roy Dotrice, and people like that were on the stage too. So they have made it in the world. So we haven't done too badly.
What's it like looking out now, Alfie, again out onto the auditorium? Does it remind you of it?
It reminds me of it very much indeed, yes. Yes, I can see my audience down there now, look. All smiling.
Let's have a look. So there we are. An audience of Craigies back in the theatre at Stalag Luft 3.
Yeah, that's it.
But you can't get much better than that, can you?
No.